open up our first segment of the show by asking you a question.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
I
have
love questions.
I have a
Questions are great.
I have a question, and I think you can answer it because it's kind of a personal question. It's about you.
Mm.
You said something very profound on the Super Show. And if it would have been our show, I would have jumped all over it because I would have been like, no, I think people need to hear this because I think it's a really good point. As a matter of fact, I clipped that point out, put it on the YouTube. It's doing fabulous. No dislikes on this one. It seems like everybody
On
is
my take?
on your specific, not your take, but you actually drew a personal connection. You had made mention on the Super Show when discussing the Raja Jackson situation that you understood. You actually, mind wise, you kind of understood where this guy was at when he flipped that switch and went into just angry mode and just went off. And
Crashed out before crashing out.
crashed out, right. So you had made this, and this is the question I'm going to ask you, which is to actually kind of maybe divulge a little bit more into what I think you were saying, because you were saying how you used to feel like that a lot when you were younger.
I feel like that shit today. I feel like that shit. I felt like that shit at 6 o'clock today. I ain't even fucking. I'm not even joking.
6 p.m.
Yes, on the way home.
God.
Yes,
You was getting ready to jump on somebody and hit him with 22 punches to
Bro.
the face.
yeah, dude. I was getting gas on the way home. Someone came up to me. Hey man, I do this thing on TikTok and Instagram, and I'll give away free stuff to the homeless. And he's doing all this flicking on the phone, and it's like he brought up his Instagram. He's like swiping. He doesn't bring up any full videos. He's swiping. And I'm like, even if this was legit, get the fuck away from me. Like, get the fuck. I don't care if you're an angel from the heavens trying to get $5 for a bum. Get the fuck away from me right now. Like, I am not, dude. I'm telling you, I literally. It's so funny you said that.
Yeah.
Because on the way home today, I was like, bro, this is what I'm talking about. Because if I just would have released my inner Raja, I would be in jail right now.
My inner Raja.
That's how angry I was at that dude. The balls to think that I was a fucking target to come get some money from me with that bullshit. Like, it enraged me. So yeah, I can relate to being enraged. Still to this day, I don't let it out because I learned the hard way that you can't do that. But yes,
yeah. So what I wanted you to kind of get more into is that you had made mention that you understood where he felt, what he felt. I know you mentioned today, but specifically during that show, you had mentioned when you were a kid. Can you start, if you think back? Can you actually think of a point in your life or a moment that stood out to you to where you can acknowledge that you kind of had an anger issue, but then is there a point in your life, maybe somewhere in your late teens, maybe early 20s, I can't tell you what it is, maybe you can tell me, where you started to realize this issue and then you started having a little bit more patience. You started, like, when did you get the idea that the anger issue was becoming more manageable for you?
Oh, okay, I'll give you some real shit. So when I started entering the work field, so maybe what?
Okay.
17-ish, 18. I worked before, but like private stuff, like with people doing home stuff. But I'm talking like my first like real life out in the world job at Wawa stuff. It was that moment when I'm like out in the real world where I realize I'm not a kid anymore. So to caveat, the anger, like I just said, is still there and is as real as it was when I was a little kid. Even to this day, like I gave you that example today, that's real rage. That's not me being funny. I really wanted to fucking swing on the guy because it's like, get away from me. So I have the rage. It's still in there. When I got into the public, I guess I could say, working out, I realized I probably shouldn't be violent, but the anger was still there. So people disagree with me, I'm right, whatever the case may be. I was a fucking full head of steam. I'm gonna argue with you. You cannot out argue me. I will keep going. There is no off button. I'm just let up. That's where my anger turned into. Instead of turning into physical violence, it then became, all right, I can't hit you, so I'm gonna talk your fucking ears off until you just give up. And then I guess later on in my adulthood, maybe like around late 20s, early 30s, is when I started to realize, and this is the fucked up part. Okay, like a dialogue with myself. You're not wrong. You are correct, and you should beat the shit out of everybody who pisses you off. However, you're not going to get anywhere in life and make money if you keep trying to convince people you're right. Because even when you are right and they tell you you're right, they still call you an asshole. And although I'm okay with being the asshole, it wasn't behooving me to be the asshole anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get
so I had to, in order to get ahead in life and get jobs, I had to change the perspective that I was giving to other people, regardless of how I felt about it.
Right.
Regardless if I'm right, you got to eat it. It doesn't matter. No one gives a shit. At this point in your life, it's no longer about, his feelings. It's more like, okay, he's a problem with knowing and we don't want to fucking deal with him. So when I realized that, that's when I started to like make the conscious decision of like keeping my mouth shut, taking the L, doing what you got to do. Like in my mind, like whatever. It doesn't pay to be right. So once I've learned that, made my pivot and start like calming down and trying not to be combative and shit like that, regardless of how I feel in the moment in real time inside and how the rage is there. I learned like probably like around 32 plus, where it was like, all right, you just need to learn to shut the fuck up. Just shut up, take the L, take accountability, even if it's not yours, and keep it fucking pushing. And that's the only way you're gonna be able to get anywhere in fucking life. So it's been working out pretty decently, much better than it was back in the anger days. But yeah,
but you made a conscious decision to turn it around, and the reasoning that you're giving is because the anger started to kind of work against you. It was
right. There was
hurting.
no value.
Yeah.
Like there was no, like before the value was I'm right. I know I'm right. And that's where the value was. But when it became, and I didn't give a fuck about monetary, although I should have, and maybe it would have clicked sooner. But once life became monetary, like I need to reposition myself. That's when it was like, all right, you need to figure out how to do this differently. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So, let me follow up with a second question. Was there anyone you feel in that time period where you had started to figure this out, where it's just like, this is hurting more than it helps at this point? Was there somebody in your life that helped in the progression of starting to manage the anger? Or did you just do it on your own?
So I want to say no, but if I'm using my critical thinking skills and being fair, or objective, be objective. I think it's when me and Nor started to get serious, because that's when the monetary became important. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And trust me, you grew up with me, and you know the way I can be, and she handles it very well. So that right there is a fucking, like, for all the anger that I keep inside to not be perceived a certain way out in the world, she gets the pot that's steaming over. You know what I mean? Like the anger, the frustration, not towards her, but sometimes it's like, I don't want to be bothered, or I'm fucking angry about something, and I'm like, not screaming at her, but like screaming about the situation. And it takes a very particular person. Even friends, I got like maybe one, but even then, I kind of regulate myself there. She's good at she's one of the few people that aren't afraid, because like I said, most people don't want to deal with me when I'm like that.
Right.
She's one of the only people in the world that'd be like, yeah, you're being a bitch. like you're wrong. You know what I mean? Like you're wrong here. Like you are right in this aspect, and that's what you're dwelling on. But like these are all the ways that you're actually wrong, and you should focus on that because that's what matters because that's what's affecting your life, right? Like you think this thing matters, but it's negatively affecting you, and then these things matter, and you're wrong here, and that's also like you got to figure out where to take a stand. And there was a few years there, me working on that shit, that she kind of took the brunt of that, but she handled it like a G. So yeah, I would give it to her. I think she's the only one that really kind of like broke through to me, but. That's what a fat ass would do. You know what I'm saying? All
right. Hey, look, listen. I always tell my wife, I said, no matter how angry I am or sad I am, pussy is always an option.
Isn't it a great reliever?
It's like better than a leave and Excedrin together. The reason why I asked this question is because you were relatively young when you're still relatively young. I'm just saying that you were younger, or you were at a younger age when you made the conscious decision that this is not working out for the better. That something has to change in order for me to progress in my life. This is
so. I mean, that's not too long ago in the grand scheme of things, though. So I hesitate to put youth on that,
right? But
because if I am still young in the time span of life, I would say I was older when I put that together. In my time frame, you understand? Like in my elder years of me being alive, is where I put that together. I wouldn't say I was younger when I did.
Well, the main crux of why I'm asking you this is that the day eventually came. I don't know if the day will eventually come for Roger Jackson. I don't know if it ever will.
It could be. It's hard to say, and he's living in a different world than I am. I'm isolated. Yeah. This dude is in front of a camera, in front of a bunch of people, so I think I have the advantage there.
Right, and also the thing that he has going for him in the negative sense is his father is zero help in this department. Zero help.
And this is where I'll stop interrupting you and let you get to where we're going to go with this. Yes. But I think you might actually be surprised on what you sent me and my take on it.
Okay, so let me read to the people exactly what we're hinting at here. So when this situation at KnokX Pro Wrestling originally happened, and again, we broke down a lot of what happened during that situation on the Super Cool show. So that clip, if you don't want to watch the whole show, that clip is available on YouTube. So I don't want to double dip for anybody who might have heard that and is now listening to this. We broke down exactly what happened and how it went down and our thoughts on that. But one of the things that we brought up during that conversation is that Rampage, his father, Quentin Jackson, his initial response to the incident was that of sympathy. It was, oh man, I'm not proud of what he did. It's kind of fucked up and blah, blah, blah. He was being real at the time. Even when he would say, hey, look, listen, at the end of the day, I'm a father, and that's my son, and I'm going to go back for my son. At the same time, I don't really support what he did, and I let him have it when I saw him. Okay, cool. Since then, some things have changed about Raja Jackson and the situation in the mind of Rampage. He took to Instagram to post something as a response because there's a pro wrestling company by the name of Danger Pro Wrestling, and that is the last time. This is the last time we were able to talk about this fucking place. But it fits in the conversation. For whatever reason, they decided to promote a match that had Raja in it. Now, according to them, it was a joke. It was never really a thing. It was just something they were putting on the internet for shits and giggles, right? But everyone got pissed. Everyone outside of the wrestling community, people inside the wrestling community, and it was brought to the attention of Dad. And Dad wrote this on Instagram. I'm going to read the whole thing here. It's not that long. This has gone too far. I'm sick of being quiet and letting all the low IQ people fall for the clickbait. Yes, my son took things too far, and I'm pissed at him for being a piece of shit and the way he handled it. But if Psycho Stu wasn't drunk, it wouldn't have hit my son over the head with a real beer can while he was live streaming on his own stream. Then Knox wouldn't have felt like they had to make things right by letting Raja get his get back in the ring. If my son wouldn't have gone to the police, if my son would have gone to the police when the beer can incident happened, then the whole event could have gotten shut down and he could have sued. But no, my son is not as smart as I'd like him to be. Now, my family and I are getting racist threats because of the misfortune being posted so content creators can get paid from viewers. People think my son just snuck in a ring in front of a live audience and picked Psycho Stu up without permission to be there. Get smart, people. It was staged. But Roger took it too far. He only shook his hand and accepted Psycho Stu's drunken apology because they said he could get in the storyline. He was told he could, quote, fuck him up. I have witnesses that says this isn't the first time that Psycho Stu has done some drunk shit backstage to a fan. Now we have the backstory that my son attacked an innocent military vet with PTSD. Like my son knew everything about the man that came up from behind him and hit him and then asked him to sell it. I have other kids to protect, and I don't take kindly to threats. I'm not scared of prison or dying for my kids, and calling me names won't hurt my feelings. My son should face the consequences of going too far. He knows better. That's why he didn't tell me anything about the storyline. But Psycho Stu is lucky I wasn't there when he hit my son over the head with a beer can that day. The day after he got a concussion from sparring the day before. I wouldn't have cared if a bunch of pro wrestlers would have jumped me. I'm a father first. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Let's all learn a lesson. Keep your damn hands to yourself. If you get paid to do fake fighting, don't disrespect people that do the shit for real. Now I put myself in this shit. DM me now. That's the post. So what were your thoughts when you...
I fucking love that. I fucking love... Oh my God. The inner child fucking cried when I saw this shit, dude. I love this, dude. Because I told you, man, like, I'm getting fucking chills. I know I'm being dramatic, but, dude, this shit hits for real.
Yeah.
Like, I get Raja, dude. That anger, man, I fucking get it, dude. I still feel it. But I had to do it on my own. And I can tell you what, there weren't many people, if any at all. And if I'm forgetting someone, forgive me, but I remember my life pretty well. And when I go on these damn rants, and when I go on these damn rampages, no pun intended, and I get myself in trouble, ain't a single motherfucker standing next to me on that hill. And that's okay. I plant my flag, and I'm willing to die on every hill that I fucking crash out on. I'm okay with that. I've accepted early in my life that the decisions I make doesn't matter how close you are to me. It is not your responsibility to stand next to me on my crazy shit. If I'm going to die here, I'm going to die here. I don't expect anyone else to do it, nor has anyone done it. So to see someone that I relate to so much, father stood up and go, hey, and he said everything right to me. Listen, he's an asshole. He should get in trouble for this. He shouldn't have done it. What he should have done was he could have shut the place down, sued them, and he'd have made some money off of this shit. But instead, he's acting like a baby. He took it the wrong way. He did the wrong things and it escalated, and he deserves the consequences. With that being said, if I was there, I would have fucked you up for touching my son. And if anyone who's got fucking smoke about my family, come see me. Because if there's one person in this world right now, or just in general, who can make this post, and I 100% wholeheartedly believe it, it's him. And the fact that he did that for his son, I think, and I know this sounds crazy, I don't know their relationship, but like, he could maybe think this is bullshit or whatever. I don't know their relationship.
Right.
But if I'm putting myself in it and I see that, like, this could be a pivoting point to me. Like, I know their relationship may be a little rough around the edges and shit.
Yeah.
But, like, if I'm a hothead, I feel like no one respects me, and I see my dad do that, dude, I might be like, all right, well, hold on. Maybe he does care.
For that one moment, he was like, thank you, Dad.
Exactly. So, I don't know. I don't know what your take on this is. When I was reading, I was like, man, I wonder what he's going to say.
Okay.
I fucking love this, dude. This is like the quote of a century for me, man. Everything he said on here was 100% correct. and the perfect thing coming from the right person, man. I love this shit.
You was here for it. That's it.
Yeah, I love this shit.
Okay, incoming rant. So here's rant warning here. If you skip ahead if you don't want to hear the bullshit smoke, but I'm gonna start off by saying this. Of all the shit he wrote, the most important part of that thing to me was I wish I was there. Because I wish he was there. Because I would have fucking loved to have seen if that fucking guy
He wouldn't
would
have even
have
done it.
tried to work the kid while fucking dad was standing right there.
He wouldn't even fucking done it.
Doubtful.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for everybody who's leaning on the veteran thing, that he's a former veteran with PTSD who served in the military, okay? Again, this is where my heat's gonna come in. So this is the clip right here for you assholes out there. Just because you served in the military does not guarantee to me that you are a good fucking person. That's not laid down by fucking default to me. I've met some military people that are fucking badasses and awesome people. And I've met some people from the military that are straight up pieces of shit. So I've seen both sides of it. I don't know Psycho Stu, so I can't give you 100% whether he's a piece of shit, not a piece of shit. I don't know. Okay? But we live in a world where everyone judges. Everyone, the people say, you shouldn't judge other people, but we all do. Even if we don't know anything about that person. How many times have you people out there seen people across from you on the bus or a train or at a supermarket, and you just walk by someone and your brain just instantly goes there. You just start breaking shit apart and you start judging. Imagine what your brain does in comparison to no information to having one piece of information. This is the one piece of information I have of this man. And it's not a good fucking impression. Until you told me he was a veteran, until you told me he was former military, until you told me he was an individual suffering from PTSD, all I saw was an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
So everything after the asshole act is now painted and smeared in doo-doo brown. At this point now, I don't give a fuck that he was in the military and he did his thing. He assaulted somebody. That wasn't a fucking work. Like we said on the Super Show, it takes two people to do a fucking work. You don't just start a work on somebody and not fill the motherfucker in that you're having a fucking work. Who gives a shit if he's streaming live on Kick? That's not your fucking stream. We said it on the Super Show. This whole company was looking for a TMZ moment, and they got one in the worst possible fucking way, but they got one. This shit is on everybody, and I wish that Rampage would have been there because none of this shit would have happened. Because every single individual, and I've since the Super Show, because I said on the Super Show that I was pissed that there were a lot of people who just stood around watching this dude get punched in the face. No one had the guts to jump on this guy except for the one dude, Douglas something. I forgot his last name. He jumped, the dude with the braids. He jumped on the fucking guy, fucking held him into the corner. He did his thing, right? He's the one guy out of all of this that I actually have mad respect for because he's not in the beginning footage. He didn't make himself a part of any of the drama, but when the drama hit, he was there. I found out that the guy with the face paint, the Mexican Jeff Hardy wannabe that was in there with the black fucking tank top and the pants and the paint, he was a fucking minor. I just found out. He's a minor in the wrestling ring with all of these grown adults in a locker room that apparently had the alcohol just fucking flowing throughout the course of the fucking night. None of this shit is good for anybody. Raja didn't do MMA any favors, and KnokX Pro Wrestling didn't do wrestling any favors. Now, since we last talked about this, here's a few fucking updates. KnokX Pro Wrestling is either folded at this point or on its way to being folded. WWE pulled its ID status immediately. No fucking conversations about it. Off. And the only reason this because I've seen the WWE ID be put on companies other than that one that are really good companies. I'd never heard of this one. I didn't know that it had it. But then I found out it was an Anawahi promotion, and now I know why it's got it. It wasn't based on anything that they achieved or anything they had done. It was basically a family thing. So that sword has two edges. You were given the benefit of the doubt because you were family. But now you're getting burned twice as bad because you're family. Because you fucking up the name. So they took the fucking thing off of KnokX Pro Wrestling. Then I find out that this place is an academy, so to speak, quotations. It's a school. Can you imagine? I had a migraine when I heard that this fucking place with these fucking people are training wrestlers. And guess what the students did when they saw this incident take place? All the fucking students withdrew from the school. All of them. At
once?
No, I'm pretty sure there wasn't a single file. But within the week, they were out of students. Nobody's there anymore.
That's crazy.
Why the fuck would you attach yourself to this? Because if you go to that school and you train there and you get booked in other places and promoter goes, oh, where did you train? KnokX Pro. Yikes.
Fucking yikes.
No fucking thank you.
Oh, man.
You came from that alcohol bullshit over there to bring it up. No, we're good. Nobody wants that shit attached to them, so they're gone. Then came the infighting. The company started fighting amongst itself. Reno Anawahi, whatever his relation is to Rikishi, he was the promoter and the booker at the time of the incident. Rikishi was not in the building. And he was the one who was the older Anawahi that was sitting down that was holding back Stu. And they were laughing and talking about the receipt. And he was the one that uttered the words, you can fuck him up in the ring. He was the one that uttered that. Then there's AJ Mana. And the only reason I know this name, if you look at the footage, AJ Mana is the individual with the cowboy hat. Okay? He's the one with the cowboy hat. He's the one standing next to Raja with the smile on his face, all on the camera, getting his 15 minutes of fame. And I know AJ is upset, and I know that he's feeling really emotional right now because this footage went so viral. Not only is he out of the wrestling business, he lost his shoot job. He lost his real job. The one that actually made him money, because he wasn't making money in wrestling, obviously. His real job fired him because they saw the footage and tied him to it, and they said, well, you're an accessory to a possible, attempted murder. You can't work here. And then he goes on some dude's podcast, hooping and hollering, screaming about telling the truth and all this other bullshit about how he's being set up, he's being made to be the fall man for this, for that, for that. No! This is going to be the first time I'm screaming on my own show. Fuck that. Fuck AJ Mana. Because I've seen fuckers like you my entire fucking career. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to need you to stand on this bullshit. I'm going to need you to stand on that. Because he did what all these go nowhere, never been, will never be ass motherfuckers who work in these locker rooms, the 20-year vets who've never done shit because they don't know how to do shit and they can't travel anywhere because their skills are shit, but they know the promoter, so they get booked at this one particular place once a fucking month for the last fucking 2 decades. They're fucking nobodies from nowhere. And because they've been doing this for so long, quote unquote, because what the fuck do you do for 20 years and not get a sniff? Imagine being in medical school for 20 years. Never once getting a fuck. Are you out of your fucking mind? Nothing. From nowhere. A fucking nobody. I've seen veterans like that. When they work at the promotion and a big star or a big name from somewhere or a guest or something like that comes to the show. And they are up their ass. They want to show the whole locker room. Look, I'm cool. I'm a big thing. This motherfucker was involved with everything. He was there from the beer can thing. He was there with the conversation with the promoter. He was a part of the whole fucking thing. He was the one egging on Raja when they were walking away. He's the one who told them about the receipt. He's the one who told. He denies that. He goes, "Oh, I'm not the one who told to fuck him up. That was the promoter." No, the promoter said to fuck him up. You told him what a fucking receipt was. You did that. See, if all of this had gone according to plan, if AJ would have been hanging with Raj, getting on the kick, getting his name out there, getting his 15 minutes, and Raja would have went in there and did a double leg and did some work shit while the two of them are just like fucking around, getting a nice pop from the 12 people that came to the fucking show, and that would have been the end of the story, he would have been all over this. Those pictures would have been all over his social media. Me and Raja Jackson, what up? But because Raja took it too far, but because Raja got the negative press, now he wipes his hands of it. Fuck that and fuck you. You were a part. You can't unsuck that dick, motherfucker. You can't do it. You were gargling his balls for hours before it got to that. You got his nuts to a nice stew. Why do you think he pulled off that double leg so goddamn good? You blew all the stress out of him. And now you got that cum in the middle of your stomach and it feels bad, right? It makes you feel nauseous. No, stand on that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ask you to stand on that. If you didn't want any part of it, you shouldn't have involved your fucking self. Because the people that were involved with Raja and Stu and Reno, nobody else. You fucking involved yourself because you wanted to be taken and seen like a fucking star and a somebody. Well, motherfucker, you're a star and a somebody now. But this isn't the light you wanted. And now you losing shit. Left and right. Crying and shit on the podcast. Getting all emotional. Oh, I can't wrestle no more. Hey, newsflash. You probably shouldn't have been wrestling from the beginning. So thank your good lucky stars you got as much time as you did. Secondly, oh, I lost my shoot job. You should. You did the thing that they're fucking accusing you of doing. You assisted in an attempted fucking murder. You didn't know you were at the time, but you did. It's called fucking negligence, you dunce. And then the fucking company, I don't know if you saw this, Dave, I don't know if you saw this, the company started sending messages to individuals and through a supposed group chat of everybody involved with the company, the management, the people who were involved with the company. I don't know if it's Rikishi or Reno or who. I don't know the specifics, but there's a text chain that's out there of the school and the company telling the students and telling the workers not to cooperate with the police.
Isn't that illegal?
Very much so, yes. So for everybody out there who
tampering with investigations,
for everybody out there who's still bitching and confused as to why Raja hasn't been arrested for what? Because while yes, what we saw was egregious and aggressive, and he's a fucking animal. You don't get mad at the lion when you put the meat in front of him. You don't put the meat in front of him. You don't put the lion in the position to fucking strike. As long as you're behind the glass, you're good. They poked the bear. We know he's not right in the head. This is not the first time people have heard of Raja Jackson doing some stupid shit. This is by far the worst. This is where he crossed the fucking line. This is where he took it too fucking far. But Raja did what Raja does. And you fucking knew it. They knew he's easy to set off. They knew that if they pushed just the right buttons, he'd go off. They didn't know what would happen when he does. They weren't ready for it. And then, my favorite part of the entire fucking conversation. The locker room. If you were in the locker room during this incident and you sat there and you watched this motherfucker punch your coworker, your friend, in the fucking face till damn near death, and you did nothing, you are a bitch, a pussy, and a coward, and you will be for the remaining time you have on this planet. You will never be able to get that opportunity back. The only motherfucker in the building with nuts in his shorts was Doug. Because this dude was in full punching motion. He dove right in, and he wasn't even fucking ringside. He was in the back. And he was the match before. Even he said, the motherfucker's lucky I was tired from the match before, or we'd have scrapped. All he did was hold him down. And Doug was convinced. He said this on a podcast. He said, I have this feeling with the look in his eye and the shit he was saying out loud that if I didn't go for his waist, if I would have allowed Raja, like if I would have stood up to Raja as opposed to put my weight down, he would have double-legged me and he would have tried to punch me. And he's dead fucking right, because at that point, Raja's seeing red.
Oh, he's red.
He's red. Yeah. Everyone gets it now.
He doesn't even see who's in front of him.
He doesn't know. Yeah, he doesn't know. He's in a different fucking world. So, yes, I believe that 100%. And
that's good awareness by him, by the way.
Yeah, he picked up on that really.
He's street smart.
Yeah. Smart enough. Smart. He was able to handle himself pretty good. He had that guy pretty much covered in the corner until everybody came out. There was mentions here on the thing that Rampage put down. The beer can to the head. Everybody's like, "Oh, it was an empty beer can." No, it wasn't. It had fluid in it. That's why when he hit him, they had the fucking spray effect. You idiots.
It doesn't matter.
What it wasn't. That's how. Hold on. That's what I'm trying to say. It wasn't. First of all, it wasn't empty. It had the fluid. All he really did was just pop the top, right? So yes, there is less pressure on the can when the top is open. But I'm going to tell you, like I told you at the Super Show, from the projects, from the PJs, if you slap me with a can full of feathers, I'm fucking you up. I'm fucking you up. If you were to throw a sock at me, not even a balled up sock with more density and weight, a loose tube sock in my direction, I'm fucking you up. Because it's not about the object. It's the disrespect. That you feel you can do whatever you want to do, not only just to me in front of people, but on fucking Kick Live?
Yeah, that's where I was going.
You're wild.
For some people, a punch in the face or being called a bitch on live TV are the same thing.
Yeah. Yes. Abso-fucking-lutely. If you get too close to me and you breathe and I don't appreciate it, I'm fucking you up. And Rampage said the same thing that I said. I said this at the Super Show. He said it after I said it, but we are on the same page. He said, of course he shook his fucking hand. Because they told him he'd get a chance to fuck him up. Of course. There was never an apology, folks. Never. Stu did that shit because at that point he knew he had done fucked up. Watch the footage again, folks. He was sincerely apologizing. And Raja just kept shaking his fucking head. Sure. It was at that point he knew he was going to fuck him up. But because everyone says, well, if that was the case, if he really wanted to fuck him up, why did he fuck him up right there? Because if he would have fucked him up right there, that's illegal. But when the fucking promoter and the individual involved give you the go-ahead to hit him as hard as you want a little later on, you take advantage. That's why everybody's like, how did he not get arrested? Who's pressing charges? Yeah, I know what we all saw on camera. Who's pressing charges? The wrestler that he double-legged that told him to hit him? The promoter for the company who told him he should hit Stu? The dumb douchebag in the cowboy hat who told him what a receipt was and how he should do it? Not only did they give him permission to be in the ring, they gave him permission to assault this man, and they even broke down the fucking terminology he should use when he fucks this man up. Imagine telling an individual how to rob a bank, what time they should rob the bank, leaving the fucking door open, and then being mad when he walks out with money. Fucking stupid. So I wanted to bring this up one last time to get it off my chest about that whole situation, and also let this be a cautionary tale to everybody else. Because this could have stopped at KnokX Pro Wrestling. And for those of you wondering again why he's not arrested and why they're not pushing charges and not pushing the issue, not only is KnokX Pro Wrestling not going to push the issue with this guy legally, they want so bad for this shit to just stop and go away. They don't want people like me on the show talking. They don't want people like ESPN picking this up. They want it to go away. You know why? Because everybody's at fault, including the motherfucker who almost choked to death on his own fucking teeth. I'm sorry, I don't have sympathy for that individual. He can put that goofy little smile on the internet all he fucking wants, because I'm sure he's loving the sympathy right now. This is probably the most positive attention he's ever received in his fucking life. He's loving it. He ain't getting it from fucking me. And I can imagine Rampage when he said all the racist comments and the racist DMs. Oh, I can just imagine. Take one look at Stu and then take one look at Raja. I can tell exactly the individuals who are in Rampage's DMs. I think all of you out there can envision in your head who's messaging Rampage. And one last piece of it, of something to say: if you're a wrestler, a professional wrestler, and you're one of the ones in his DMs, you're a bitch and a pussy too. I'm lumping you in. What the fuck are you messaging this man for? Do something or don't do something. What are you messaging? What are you messaging to Rampage Jackson in his DMs?
Yeah, Rampage sounds cool, but I mean, at the end of the day, you're like talking to someone's dad. Like, that's fucking weird. Like, why are you telling on someone's son to their dad?
Well, I'm sure they're messaging Raja too. But I can promise you, I don't care how old you are as a man, there's a difference between being able to fight and being a fighter. And I don't give a shit how old you are. There's not a lot of guys, I can promise you, less than 1% of the people that in either of their DMs can actually fight these motherfuckers.
Oh, no, absolutely not. Not unless they're strapped, and even then, I don't recommend it. I don't
strongly
think any of these people saying any of this shit to any of their faces.
No.
Raja, you might be able to muster up the courage, but I don't think there's a very few finite number of animals that can stand in that guy's face.
No fucking way. So you're all pussies, for the record. If you were going to do something, do it. You know where to find them. They're live on Kick every fucking day. They're not hard to find. They're not hiding. But that's not the point. You don't actually want to do something to these people. You just want to send the message and then show it to your friends. Oh, look at me. I just cussed out Rampage Jackson. He knows what it is. He don't want this smoke. Fuck you. Smell like fucking tuna fish, pussy. None of you motherfuckers did anything. I can't imagine. Yo, oh my God. I was talking to this with a couple of my friends that I've worked with in the past. We all said the same thing. That motherfucker would have never made it out of our locker room in one fucking piece. No fucking way. No way. And I've been in situations where a guy had to get straightened out in the locker room. In the locker room. I've seen it. And we all said the same shit. He would have never made it out of that locker room in one solid fucking piece. The EMTs would have had to come in there and drag his ass out. And this motherfucker beat the shit out of your friend and walked the fuck on live. Walk on live. Not even like on some sneaky shit. Like he's streaming his exit.
That's not surprising though, man. The camaraderie today is a little different than
nope,
back in
it's
the day,
all these locker rooms are filled with bitches and pussies, play fighters, pretend, Cirque du Soleil fucks. That's who's in these locker rooms now. They would have, oh my God, we would have like, yo, listen. Even if it took the strap, somebody would have had it, especially up here in the Northeast. Somebody's got one. Someone's got one. He would have, I'm telling you, he would. Rampage would have come down to our next show to find us, to fuck us up for what we did to his son. He would have came looking for us. It wouldn't be the other way around. Raja and Rampage aren't doing shit because nobody's doing shit. If you were to do shit, they would do shit. But no one wants to jump because they know they get their ass handed to them because they're all jerk-offs. Everybody involved. Raja, too. He's a bitch, too. No doubt about it. Complete bitch. But this bitchness is enough to go around. Everybody's sharing in the douchebaggery. So, just wanted to put that out there and get that one off my chest. I've been stewing since the fucking the Super Show on that one. And then the more the information came out, I was like, God damn it. When I saw that fucking Instagram post, I put it on the rundown. I was like, nope, enough. We're doing it.